I'm ready to suplex somebody.
Yeah?
Oh, God. I'm glad I'm over here.
What's going on, everybody? We are back
All going great.
with another episode of Backstreet Sports. Yes, it's a new name on the host side of the table. Everybody kind of switched spots up on me. It's a way different.
I needed a break.
It's fair. How we doing today? Everybody doing well?
Wait, host, who are we?
Oh, Christopher. I mean, I thought at this point we're like the number one show on the radio, so everybody would know us, but
I'm sorry. We have
okay.
new
No, we're
listeners.
good.
My mom might be listening.
that's fair.
First episode, okay?
My mom's always
We're here
listening.
with the usual crew. It's
Yep.
Max, T on the right today,
Doggone right.
Tanner,
Yo, yo, yo.
and last but not least, Christopher.
For sure.
T,
Yep.
a few quick words.
All right. The International Club and International Services here at Moncor are hosting International Night here on campus. Come on out, learn and explore about the different cultures that exist in this world. There will be food, raffles, cultural performances, and so much more. The best part is it's free for Monco students. Just have your school ID on you. It's $3 for children 12 and under, and just $5 for everyone else. The event starts at 5 p.m. and ends at 9. Don't miss out on an awesome event. In addition, the Arts and Humanities Department and the Environmental Sustainability Club will be showing the short documentary Straws, a short film showcasing the use of plastic straws and their effect on the environment. It will be shown on April 17th from 12:15 to 1 p.m. in the Science Center. Come out and be informed. Pizza will be served, so bring your appetite.
The pizza sold me.
I got to start getting paid for these promos.
A lot to get to today, fellas.
Oh, boy.
I want to start with the University of Virginia Cavaliers national championship victory on Monday night. Now, I know
Nice.
you guys didn't watch.
Yeah, look.
I know you guys didn't watch.
Look.
I wanted to bring up the fact that it started at 9:20, which
That's ludicrous.
for me, it's just a little late. I think for us, as especially kids our age, even younger than us, I remember we were in high school. But I think that what I've been hearing on the other radio shows and stuff like that, it just started like way too late. Like people weren't even able to stay up and watch or anything like the last couple of years they started at 9, which still is to me is too late. But I feel like a lot of people that have been complaining that they're starting late. I want to get your thoughts on that too. Would you guys do you mind lowering it? I know you didn't watch, but do you think maybe 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock?
Well, my question is, where was the game again? Was it
The
Minneapolis?
game was in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yes.
That's what I thought. Okay.
So they have to make it appropriate for the Minneapolis.
I mean, I guess they
Right.
were trying to have it prime time in the local area, so around 8 o'clock. So
Yeah.
I can understand that, but yeah, what about us on the West Coast? Or
we're on the
East
West Coast now?
Shut
Yeah.
up. Shut up, Thud.
Really? No, it's not true.
The game itself, in my opinion, was great. I felt like tied at 68 late and then going in overtime. The last 2 years, I mean, Nova kind of blew up Michigan last year, and the year before that, Carolina, Gonzaga was not that great of a championship. It really wasn't had a good championship since UNC Villanova when Chris Jenkins hit the shot a couple years ago. So I think that as a tournament, the tournament as a whole, for me, was really fun to watch. I think there was a lot of good games this year. Auburn was a sneak team, and they were really good throughout the whole year, and they came and impressed me too.
Let's talk about that Auburn and Virginia game, Final Four.
Yeah.
Went down to the last 3 free throws. Kyle Guy.
Yeah.
What do you think about Kyle Guy?
Oh, you know how I feel about Kyle
I know,
Guy.
that's
He's
your
one of my
boy. I know
favorite
that's your
players.
guy,
He's my
yeah.
boy. No, just I love the way he's calm and he gets the ball, and you think like he's such a great shooter. He would just be jacking threes, but he finds a way to get open. And I watched a lot of Virginia towards the end of the season, especially in the tournament. You see him cutting through the lane and using screens. He reminds me a lot of J.J. Redick. Like everybody's going to be guarding him, face guarding him, following him around the court. And I just feel like he uses the screen so well off the ball to get open and get those open looks, but he doesn't force any shots. Like that last shot when he got fouled, like obviously you're going to have to chuck that one up. There's only 1 second left, but as you watch all the possessions up, I mean, he is really consistent. And to knock down those three throws
Right.
with 1 second left
Calm
to
and
win the
collected
game.
at the line. Yep.
I mean, the guy is great.
You mean to tell me you were talking about a college basketball player who can actually shoot free throws?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Late in games too, especially for the win. But
Oh, goodness.
no,
That's ludicrous.
the Ty Jerome and DeAndre Hunter too. You got to give them credit. DeAndre Hunter, veteran presence. He led the team all
27
season.
points.
I mean, he played so well. And Texas Tech too, man. They had a hell of a season. Matt Mooney, what a shooter, and David Moretti. Those guys kept Tech in games all throughout the tournament. And I just feel like they didn't really get a lot of credit or noise. Like no one was really talking them up throughout the season, and they impressed me personally.
The thing with Matt Mooney, he transferred from South Dakota, right?
Yeah, I think he was a transfer guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked it a lot. I think for everybody was picking Duke because Zion and everything like that, and
That's the only reason why everybody was picking Duke.
I think that looking back on it now, when kids like our age are going to start going through the recruiting process, and you try to match, I mean, they got the top 3 recruits. I mean, they just showed this year that's not going to always work. You need some veterans, especially if you want to win the title. I mean, they had so much talent on that team, but I don't think they ever had like they've only been together for like how many months? 6-7 months.
Yeah, exactly.
You need.
I don't care what sports you play. I don't care what you do. You need chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have that chemistry, that's why I really don't like watching college basketball like that. I'm sorry, but I mean, these kids, they come in for 1 year and they're going to the NBA.
Yeah.
And then you get into another problem where I have with these young NBA college players. I mean, young basketball college players. It's the simple fact that you go into the NBA and you don't even have a half decent jump shot or a half decent free throw shot.
Always stuff you can work on, definitely.
And then I'm gonna be honest with you, y'all coming in small. Y'all like $160, $170, soaking wet.
Yeah, Zion's the exception, but
Zion's always going to be the exception. He is just a freak of nature.
I feel like for me personally, I've always been a big college basketball fan, but for everybody else, I feel like it's been kind of like hasn't been that popular recently. No one's not really talking about it. For me, I have some of my friends have been talking about it, but I mean, it used to be a huge thing. People used to call it a work, and I mean, like go down there for the first weekend.
I used to cheat on my job.
Yeah,
and one of my jobs and watch March Madness, but there wasn't really a lot of hype this year.
No, and I feel like watching the tournament and as looking back on it now, I feel like hopefully this year, people look back on it and like, okay, maybe college basketball, get a little bit more popular next year, especially since the tournament. I know last year, the thing I don't like, and Cinderellas are okay, like Loyola Chicago last year.
Yeah.
But I just feel like when you get down to those Final Four teams, I just like when they're all powerhouses. Anybody can win. They have the most talented. Because you want to see the best matchups at the end of the day.
Right.
Last year was Loyola Chicago. UMBC beating a 1 seed.
They actually
Kansas State
beat
went deep.
Virginia last year, too.
Yeah.
That was really...
And that's a great story, too, losing to a 16, coming back on the national championship. So I wanted to start with that, but now let's transition into last night's Phillies game.
Okay.
Oh, God.
I was actually there to witness that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm sorry.
Oh gosh.
That is blasphemous.
All right, Stephen A.
We have a 6-2 lead in the 7th inning. Aaron Nola comes back out. Gabe Kapler sends him out there. His pitch count's around 80, 85 pitches, so he's doesn't want to wear him out, but he's, he only gave up 2 runs to that point.
Aaron Nola did not. I'm concerned. I know we said last week, we said it might just be a fluke thing.
Yeah.
Now I'm legitly concerned.
Yeah.
This is not the Aaron Nola that I seen towards the end of the year last year.
Yeah, he gives up the 2-run home run to Jan Gomes, and then the following batter hits a home run, a solo bomb. So that makes it 6-5. He gets taken out of the game. Sir Anthony comes in, and this is my only question for you guys today. I know we don't have a closer, but Sir Anthony comes in, throws 5 pitches to get out of that 7th inning. And then he doesn't come back in for that 8th inning. And I know we were short in the bullpen. Nishek wasn't available. David Robertson wasn't available. Madam Morgan wasn't available. But I wanted to ask you guys, what do you guys think about bringing Sir Anthony back out for that 8th inning? I know Kapler said that he wanted to have Neris pitch the 8th and the 9th, but he threw 30 pitches in that 8th inning, so they couldn't bring him out for the 9th. But I felt like Sir Anthony, I guess Kapler, from his standpoint, he only wants them in 1 inning. He doesn't want to have that split thing. But Sir Anthony only threw 5-6 pitches in that 7th inning. Would you have brought him back out, or when it was in the heat of the moment, where you're like, oh, okay, Neris is coming in, let's lock the door here?
Nah, man. But he had the hot hand.
I know.
I'm always gonna go with the hot hand at the end of the day.
Yeah, Neris has pitched well. I'm just saying, because we were short in that bullpen, knowing it could have gotten to that point,
right?
To the point where Jose Alvarez may have had to come in, or Neris would have had to throw too many pitches. Would you have brought Sir Anthony back in for that 8th inning?
I mean, it's tough to say. I feel like Gabe Kapler's management of the bullpen is very poor. I'm not a fan of it, but
I'm not a fan of the bullpen.
No, well, yeah, that's another thing too. But I feel like Sir Anthony, for him to get better, and I feel like he's one of our better arms in the bullpen. For him to get better, I want him out there throwing pitches. I haven't seen a whole lot of him yet this year. Is that the 3rd game he's been in this year?
3rd or 4th?
3rd or 4th? Look, because I don't know. Every time I see Hector Neris out there, I'm holding my breath. Just because of his reputation. Yes, he throws a good splitter when he throws it right.
Yeah,
but
he got sent down last year in the minor leagues because he just was getting hit.
Exactly,
he couldn't command that splitter.
Exactly, and I mean, I don't know if he's injured or I know he's in AAA, but I want to see Victor Arano again because I mean
He had an awful spring training. That's why he didn't make the roster.
I said this to you guys earlier. Last year, when bringing in anyone from the bullpen, the only guys who I felt comfortable with were Sir Anthony and Victor Arano. And I mean, yeah, he's probably just having himself, a conditioning stint just to get everything back together, gain his confidence again.
Yeah,
I want to see him back up with the big club. David Robertson also is making me nervous. Yeah. I mean, I know I didn't see the game at all last night or the night before, but I heard his last outing he looked all right, but last week he gave up those 3 walks in a row to give up that walk off to Washington. Yeah, his first appearance against the Braves. I forget exactly what happened, but I did not. He did not.
Yeah, he
look
hasn't been
comfortable
pitching.
out there
He hasn't been pitching up to his potential the last couple years.
He's the guy that Gabe Kapler said in the biggest situations, he's the guy he's going to look to.
Right. The only problem was he wasn't available last night. That's the only reason. He pitched 3 out of the last 4 days. So
you said Adam Morgan wasn't available last night.
Adam Morgan was not available last night.
I mean, maybe I'm crazy, but I thought I saw his name come up.
That's what I heard. I read an article at the end of the game where there was 3 of our guys weren't available. Morgan was one of them. Nishek was one of them, and Robertson was one of them too. And those guys have even Morgan, and I haven't been a big fan of him in the past, but he's been pitching really well to the start of this season. So, I guess giving up that homer to Juan Soto in the 9th inning, that's controversial. I mean,
can we talk about that home run? Because I was there and I was watching that ball, and personally, that was to the right, and the whole stadium thought so too.
Yeah, man. For me,
it's an outrage.
I just think that the call on the field stood. I don't think they had anything that. I mean, I think if they call that foul on the field, they're not going to be able to overturn that. That's just unfortunate and unlucky there. But I think Kapler, I understand, Chris, your point where you said you're not a huge fan of how he manages the bullpen. But in his defense, I mean, he doesn't have a closer. He doesn't have that go-to guy.
My whole thing is this: you say he doesn't have a closer. Now, is that him choosing not to have a closer, or they legitimately don't have a closer?
I think they legitimately don't have a closer. There's just a bunch of relievers in that bullpen.
But then I feel like he contradicts himself, saying, "I'm giving the ball to David Robertson when I need an inning finish, clean."
Right.
And
I think because Robertson pitched. Go ahead. You're good.
No, to me that says David Robertson's our guy.
Right.
All right. So I mean, yeah, there's the whole like, oh yeah, Sir Anthony will get a game here in Neris. No, you just said that David Robertson is your guy when you need him, when you need someone to pitch you a clean inning.
I understand exactly what you're saying. I think based on track record from in the past, Robertson, he used to be a closer for, I don't know if he was closer for the Yankees for a year. They had guys. I definitely know he was a closer for Chicago. But he's been one of those guys where he's been able to work the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, And I think that's what, when we signed him that contract, that was one of his, strong suits was he was able to pitch, any inning when needed, when outs were needed. And Sir Anthony too. Sir Anthony, he wasn't really a highly touted prospect or anything. He kind of just came on the scene last year, and we all thought, man, Sir Anthony could be our closer for the future.
Yeah,
and
I still think that.
And now, again, coming out of spring training, we all didn't know who the closer was. We saw Sir Anthony at the end of last season. All right, he's going to be our closer, and then we signed Robertson, and he's like, all right, who's our closer? We had question marks. Who's going to be our closer? Now Nishek, Morgan, these guys are all just middle relievers. All right, those guys can't close. And I think, I don't know. Gabe Kapler did say that he wanted Neris to pitch the 8th and the 9th inning. So if we all watched the game over the weekend against the Twins when Neris had that save, right? Gosh. So I was thinking, does Kapler want Neris to have it, or was it just
on Saturday?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Neris was pitching. He gave up a 3-run homer top of the 9th.
So wait, I kind of blacked out for a second. Mm-hmm. Can you say what you said again about what Gabe Kapler did with Hector Neris? I blacked out there.
He had to say he brought Hector Neris in for a save. I don't know if it was 2 nights ago or the night before that, over the weekend.
How many innings did you say he pitched?
He pitched 1 inning.
Okay.
I
thought you said he pitched 2 innings.
No.
What?
His goal, what he wanted last night, what he came out the press conference. What he wanted last night was for Sir Anthony to finish off that 7th inning, right? And then he said, Neris, get in there and pitch the 8th inning tonight. Mm-hmm. He threw 30 pitches in that 8th inning. Obviously, you don't want him throwing 40 plus.
No.
So you have to come out and Ramos was one of the last guys that were available in that pen, and he got 2 guys out, but he just made a bad pitch, and he put it out.
Yeah.
But at this point, I don't know. Obviously, people are going to look to Kapler and say, hey, Kapler, you got to manage that bullpen better. I just feel like we don't have that closer. We don't have a guy. Everybody
I agree with you.
in that bullpen, he doesn't go up to anybody and say, you're our closer. He just wants guys to get outs when they're needed. And I think everybody that's going to come out now and say, let's sign Craig Kimbrell, go out and get Craig Kimbrell. I know people are going to say we need him, but for the price that he wants, I just don't think it's a good idea.
See, my whole thing with people saying that it's Gabe Kapler is Gabe Kapler playing in the game? Is Gabe Kapler throwing these pitches?
Right.
Gabe Kapler don't have the talent. Gabe Kapler is a manager. He is not the actual player.
No,
see,
sorry.
I'm good. We get confused sometimes, who to blame in certain situations.
Right.
You have to look at the talent in this bullpen. We don't have the talent. So you cannot blame the manager sometimes for some of the things that happen.
Yeah, but then he does something like there's 2 guys on base and he puts out Pat Neshek. And the thing is, Pat Neshek is a pitcher that pitches for contact. All right, and with guys on base, that's not a decision that I personally would make. I get you want to maybe turn a double play to just get the inning over with. Pat Neshek would not be the guy I would go to, but then it's stuff like that kind of frustrates me with how Gabe Kapler manages the bullpen.
That's fine, but every loss doesn't have to be blamed on Kapler.
Yes, it does.
Here's a piece of Gabe Kapler from last night.
Is uncharacteristic, and I think will kind of lean on the 2 years of history that suggests that this is probably not Nola.
Nobody wants outings like this, obviously. I mean, I guess you can say a slow start, but I'm going to keep battling and competing out there. That's all I can do.
That's a piece of Gabe Kapler and Aaron Nola from last night. Now, Kapler there saying the reporter asked him about the home run ball that he's been giving up lately. Last year, very few homers given up from Aaron Nola. This year, now people are starting to raise eyebrows. He's given up really too many home runs.
Yeah, he is.
In key moments in games. He just hasn't looked like the same Aaron Nola, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if he coming out of spring. He's always been one of those calm. You can never tell if anything's bothering him.
Right.
He says he's healthy, 100%. In spring training, coming out of that, there was no question marks about Aaron Nola. We all expected him to be the ace that he was last year. Mm-hmm. And what Gabe's saying there is he's going to bet on the 2 years of track record of him not giving up homers. So, what do you guys think? After last start, I figured, all right, I'll give Aaron Nola the benefit of the doubt for how good he's been in the past. And now this is 2 starts in a row now where he had a good outing last night and then ran into trouble and made a couple of bad pitches at the wrong time in games. So is this a little bump in the road? Is he hurt? Is he covering up? What do you guys think?
And I hope it's just a simple bump in the road.
Right.
And if he is injured, then he needs to sit down for a minute, and whatever is ailing him, he needs to heal up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because obviously now it's affecting the team. This is not the Aaron Nola that we've grown accustomed to seeing. Obviously something is wrong. It's the same thing with
Do you think it's a mechanics thing? Do you think it's a mental thing? Physical? What do you think it is?
I'm hoping it's physical. If it's mental, that's a problem.
Right. So you think he's got to just work on maybe his arm angle, his mechanics or something?
Like, I have to see more games. And
Right.
I have to, continue to watch him.
Exactly.
Because I really don't 100% know what it is.
Yeah, no, his next start, he really needs to make a statement.
I think that's Monday, right? Against the Mets?
I can check.
In my opinion, I feel like last year he was so heavily relied on. Because when he went out there, it was like, all right, we actually have a legitimate chance to win this game tonight. There's other pitchers last year where there was question marks. Like Arrieta didn't have his best season. We had a lot of young arms. I feel like this year, through the first couple games, I feel like he's like, I'm going to get run support. I don't have to be as sharp as I've been in the past. And I feel like maybe from a mental standpoint that he's almost thinking like, all right, I don't have to be as sharp as I was last year because I'm going to get run support. So I feel like he's not saying to himself, I need to be dominant. I need to go 7-8 innings, give up 1 or fewer runs in that. I feel like he's like, okay, I have leeway now. I can go 6, maybe 7 innings, give up 3 or 4 runs. My offense will pick me up. So from that standpoint, that's just how I feel. Here's a little bit more Gabe Kapler from the postgame last night.
Would we have liked to have a full bullpen? Absolutely, and that would have been something that we would have considered if we had more guys available. Their lineup is pretty good, keeps coming at you. Everybody can hit a home run. It was a grind to get through. Just like it's a grind for them to get through our lineup, it's a grind for us to get through theirs.
Just to answer your thing real quick, he is scheduled to pitch Monday against the Mets.
Okay.
Barring anything
And
bad.
I'm going to be there at that game, so I'll be having the close watch on
As
that.
will Max and I.
What? Wow.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Sorry,
yeah.
Chris.
I'll be at work.
Backstreet Sports is taking a road trip. Chris wanted to work a real job, so, that's what happens.
So Gabe Kapler on that last part there, he's saying Chris, what you alluded to earlier about how the guys just weren't available last night. 3 out of 4 nights. I know it's early in the season. He doesn't want to stretch him out. And if he said that if that option was available, that's not how it would have went. There wouldn't have been Neris or Ramos in there. He wanted his big boys in there to get the last couple outs.
Along with Arano, another guy I would like to see come up to maybe have a couple innings is Austin Davis. I really liked what I saw out of him.
Last year to lefty?
It adds another lefty to your bullpen, a little bit more variety. And I really liked what I saw from him last year. He's still a young guy. I'm still fine with him taking reps in the minors. I just want to see him a couple times this year at least.
No, understandable.
I mean, no, these guys aren't going to be healthy all. I'm not wishing they're not healthy, but that's just the reality of what they do.
Right.
So I would like to see Austin Davis come up. Sorry,
Wouldn't mind. Say a thing. I just wanted your guys' opinion on Vince Velasquez from his first start of the season on Monday night. Gave up 2 runs in 5 innings. The fifth starter in the rotation, I really had a lot of question marks about him. He's coming into his 4th year in this. What does he have? Can we rely on him to be a 4 or 5 starter? He pitched pretty well. He's going to make his mistakes, but he's got a live arm. He's always had that live arm. Yeah. Do you guys think he's going to stay? I know that Eichhoff's, he's right there in the minor leagues. Like, he wants to come up here. He's just waiting for somebody to make a mistake or two, have a couple bad starts. What do you guys think about Velasquez?
Well, sorry, T. Did you want to go?
I think even with Eichhoff, breathing basically down his neck, I think that forces him to, bring his stuff. It's always something different when an athlete has somebody breathing down his neck, putting pressure on him, because obviously now that person behind me can potentially take my job because I'm that close to having my job being taken away by somebody else. So now that puts added pressure on. Now that person is either going to fold under that pressure or he's going to succeed under that pressure. Right. And now I think hopefully now we can start to see Velasquez succeed under that pressure. Yeah. Maybe this is good for him.
Yeah, no, Velasquez is really Jekyll and Hyde. I thought you were pointing at someone else. No, he's I've seen him multiple times. He'll go 7 innings.
Continue, Chris.
Jeez, all right. No, there have been times where I've seen him go 6, 7 innings without giving up a hit at all, and then he'll get pulled by the 3rd inning. When he gave up that two-run homer the other night, I winced. I was like, crap, here it comes, because usually when that happens, it's just an avalanche. It just keeps building up, and he's pulled by the 4th. But he really kept it together. He had 4 Ks, no walks. Yeah. Which he didn't. I mean, I really put stock into a pitcher not giving up walks. That free base runners.
The usual Velasquez goes about 3-4, throws 100 pitches. So definitely, and he would strike out a lot, but his walk rate would be high.
And he the other night, he didn't give up any walks, and he went 5, right?
He did go 5 innings, gave up 2 runs. Yes.
So he put it back together. He kept it salvageable for the Phillies to take it. I'm concerned about his consistency.
Yeah,
though.
No,
and
I agree.
I would certainly like to see Eichhoff back up on the big league team.
Yeah. 2 things I wanted to point about last night's game again. I think I know we all think, how good we are as fans and how bad we've been in the past. We're thinking like, let's win every game. Exactly. But we're not taking into account the fact that the Washington Nationals are a really good team. They got a really good lineup. Juan Soto, Anthony Rendon, Ryan Zimmerman. They just keep coming at you, kind of how like our lineup does. And I just feel like because we're so like, oh my God, like we got Bryce Harper, like we're never going to lose another game. I feel like in that situation last night, people were thinking to ourselves, all right, we're going to win this game. We're up 6-2. And I feel like that's what hurt more, being up 6-2 late in that game. If it was close the whole way and it was kind of like, man, we really don't deserve to win this game. We were making errors or something. I understand.
Me personally, I always maintain the fact that, okay, this lineup was going to score runs. We all knew that.
Right.
My main concern was the pitching. It was always a concern of mine. Were we going to be able to out-hit the pitching?
Right.
Now we see the pitching is the bad pitching is now starting to catch up to the hitting.
Yeah.
So now what are you going to do? Because this obviously is a problem.
There's a problem. It is a problem. Tanner, you want to say something?
Let me go back to how you were saying how confident we are as a fan base. I'll tell you, when we were up 6-2 at the game, everyone was leaving their seats, hitting the stores, getting cheesesteaks, everything. And then while I'm in the stores, I hear a few crack of the bats, and it's 4-6.
Yeah.
And then so we start heading back to our seats, and then we start getting in a groove 9th, and then the 8th.
Yeah.
We they left some men on base, but then top of the 9th, Ramos lets up that home run, right, to tie the game. He was 1 strike away. The count was 2-2.
1 strike away. Yep. 2-2, 2 outs. Yeah. It's frustrating. It's definitely frustrating.
And to answer that question, T, and I know you guys have criticized me for this, but hey, Dallas Keuchel, you're unemployed. Your value is dropping. There you go. 2-year contract.
I don't know, maybe his value just went up because of this recent game.
I think so. What do you guys do? Do we ride this out and hope, man, maybe something happens, or do we go out and get Craig Kimbrell?
You got to do something.
What do you do if you're Gabe Kapler right now and you're managing the team? Say you're sitting there right now, you're getting ready for tonight's game. You got your guys back and available, right? Your big guys. You got Dave Robertson. These guys are going to be available tonight. Are you sitting there thinking to yourself, I need to get a closer? I'm going to go into that locker room right now and say, okay, Dave Robertson or Pat Neshek, you're the closer. Are you thinking to yourself, man, do I want to keep doing this committee thing with the closer role, or do you think you got to go to Klentak or somebody this early in the season too? You got to remember, it's this early in the season. Say, hey, I need a Craig Kimbrell in my bullpen.
Me personally, let's look and see what you have in your personal bullpen.
You're saying you would point to somebody, or you stick with the committee?
Make a decision on point to who is going to be your closer. Mm-hmm. Make a decision.
Right.
Now, if that decision doesn't work out, then you go to Klentak.
Right.
Say, all right, this is not working out. Mm-hmm. Blah blah blah. I need an extra arm in here.
Right. What do you think, Tanner?
Right. First, you got to see what you have. Mm-hmm. You don't want to go out there, risk something right now. If you had someone that can take responsibility, but
no one's really had that key guy role opportunity in that bullpen.
Correct.
You think we got to get Kimbrell though, Chris?
Well,
it's early in the season. That's basically my only argument. If this was July, I'd say, okay, let's go get somebody. But
I mean, yeah, I'm the ridiculous one, so go get him. No, but in all seriousness, I feel like for anybody, having an established role really eases your mind. I at least I think so. Mm-hmm. So if you go up to Sir Anthony and you're like, you are the closer, you are the guy, I feel like that'll give him a sense of, I guess, comfort to know that, okay, this is my role. This is what I'll do on any given night where I gotta keep my team up by 3 runs, by 2 runs.
Right.
So, and with a guy like David Robertson in the bullpen, that's a guy who can definitely take Sir Anthony under his wing and just
definitely work on his control.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He's got the arm. We all know he has that 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but work on that control.
Love that fastball.
We all agree that the starters are pretty. They're okay so far, right? We're not like freaking. Let's go get Keuchel. No. You know, what I mean, they've been pitching pretty decent. Everybody has. Pivetta had a couple bumps, but for the most part, Eflin's been dominant. I mean, he's untouchable right now. So, what do you got? You thinking?
Well, the reason I say Keuchel is because 1, I would like a lefty in this rotation, and 2, I after you said it and I saw it, I really like Vince Velasquez in the bullpen. Yeah, I really do. And
two, 3 years, your long man, 2-3 innings.
Yeah,
he's got the arm to go out there and really give you 2 solid innings right there. And you know what? For an example from last night, I know it didn't end the way we wanted it to, but say you had Velasquez in that bullpen as an option, he could have gone the 8th and the 9th inning, and you wouldn't feel bad. Oh man, he can't throw more than 30 pitches. You would have been like, okay, he's been a starter before. He can give you like 50 pitches out of the pen.
Exactly,
100%. So let's transition now into the hitters from the Phillies lineup. Last night was great. Here's Bryce Harper's home run from last night.
Oh boy.
In the air to left field. Going back on it is Soto. That is gone! Bryce Harper, a 3-run home run against the changeup. And the Phillies take a 4-1 lead.
So we're feeling great at that time, right? That was a lot of fun.
Didn't he go change up?
Yeah, and that was all the way.
That was the dumbest thing you could have done. That was not the smartest thing you could have did.
It's called reverse psychology because I understand what he was trying to do. It's I'm going to throw this changeup. I'm going to throw it a second time, a third time. Oh, he's going to think I'm going to throw a fastball now. No, I'm going to throw this changeup. It's a whole reverse psychology thing.
But when you throw the same pitch,
I know,
the same speed, 3 times.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Man, that's ludicrous. Hey,
it's called reverse psychology, man. Sorry. I didn't mean to completely derail the show.
Listen, is it me or I don't know why I just love watching Harper hit opposite field homers.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah,
like the pull hitter where he hits it like 500 feet's great, but the opposite field, it shows you how great of a hitter he really is.
Oh yeah.
I want to talk about his defense real fast. That first inning, I don't know if anybody saw this specific play. I know you were there last night.
I saw it. It was right in front of me.
They gave Adam Eaton a double on that, and I was sitting there scratching my head. I was like, man, they really gave him a double. I thought he should have had an error on it. Do you think Bryce Harper, not calling him a liability on the defensive side, but is he like maybe like he's not that great a defensive player? You're like, oh man, like he's got an arm, he's got an okay arm, he's kind of slow out there.
I think we were kind of overhyping his defensive ability.
Yeah. I didn't see the game last night because I hate my manager.
Yeah.
So
you're on the airways. Be careful.
So he's not listening. Max, could you please paint a picture for me? What happened? Because I didn't see it.
Tanner, actually, you were right there.
Oh,
so you want to?
Sorry, Tanner.
Yes, even better.
It looks as if he was playing the ball back. The ball was dying out, and he realized he was so far back, he dove for the ball.
His reads on the balls, I just don't think they're best.
It looked pretty messy.
It was in and out of his glove. It's not like it was. He didn't have to dive or anything. He kind of just went like this.
I think he was waiting on it too much.
His reads, I don't know.
I mean, it happened once. Has it happened multiple times?
This game, a couple plays in the outfield, I was not sure who I was looking at there.
Yeah.
Not sure who that was out there.
Hopefully this is a one-time thing and we don't have to deal with this.
I hope so. I wanted to talk about JT Realmuto. He's really the only guy in this lineup I'm seeing struggling right now. I mean, he did have a big night last night, 3 hits, but I looked at his overall numbers. Hoskins, he's been like, okay, Hoskins, you look back a couple games where you're like, man, I saw Hoskins have a highlight. 2 bombs the other night. Harper's been great. Segura he's been pretty great too. Dude. And Kutch at the leadoff spot, I just feel like Realmuto.
Oh man,
I think it'll come
too in the 8 hole.
Franco in the 8 hole. I just feel like it'll come for Realmuto. But why do you think he's struggling right now? Just out of the gate, just a little, I don't know, just wearing off the rust, or
it's just getting used to a new place.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to keep doing this. He's not going to be a 200 hitter. He can't be.
No,
he just can't be. But given that, I still have really liked what I've seen from behind the plate.
He's so great defensively.
Throwing out guys at second, dude. He looks great behind the plate. I don't, with the way this lineup is, I'm not overly worried. I'm sure he'll get his groove together. And something I wanted to allude to earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be overshadowed by Bryce Harper, but man, Gene Segura has been great. Honestly, probably of the new guys, my favorite guy. He is impressed. He's just impressed the hell out of me. I really like Gene Segura. Sorry, JT Realmuto. Who? Tanner.
JT Realmuto. Yeah. Listen, Segura's been great. Honestly, Segura's been really good. McCutcheon in that leadoff spot. I mean, he's been
Andrew
very good.
Yes.
He's been great in that leadoff spot. Let's transition to Sixers basketball now.
Jeez.
I really wanted to bring this up because we've been blinded the last couple of weeks here.
Geez.
Well, they clinched that 3rd seed after a win Saturday, and the Magic beat the Celtics.
Yeah, that eight spot is open for grabs still in the playoffs, but I think it's looking like we're going to play either the Magic or the Nets. For me personally, now listen, last night the whole D-Wade thing, I wanted to watch the Phillies, and I was never D-Wade. Now, don't get me wrong, D-Wade's a Hall of Famer. I've never been the biggest fan of Dwayne Wade. And we didn't have Redick, we didn't have Embiid. Listen, we're just getting to the end of this season now. We're waiting for the playoffs. As fans, we've been waiting for the playoffs for a couple of weeks now. I think that I'm a little nervous about even this first round. I mean, the way the Nets have been playing right now lately with D'Angelo Russell, not saying we're going to lose. I'm not saying obviously we're going to be favorites to get out of this first round. But coming into this season, we didn't have high expectations. I mean, we wanted to get to the playoffs again. We still had Sarge. We still had Cove. Reflecting on this whole season, I'm talking here. And then we get Butler. It's like, okay, we got a shot to maybe win the first round game, maybe win the second. And then we get Tobias and we get Boban, and we're thinking like, all right, now we really got to go somewhere. And watching this team for the past 20 games together as a whole, obviously the bench is a big question mark. We've all known that the whole season. And going into the playoffs now, I just feel like we are not saying we're going to lose in the first round. But I'm not talking sweep in the first round, maybe even 6 games. So the Nets have been playing really well, and they're going to be a tough out. I know they're not they don't have the killer instinct like a guy like Embiid or a Butler or anything like that. They're just playing as a whole. The guys that have the bench as a whole are just playing so well.
I've always said that the Brooklyn Nets are the dark horse in the Eastern Conference. Yeah. I've always maintained that, and people have laughed in my face. I said, listen, the Nets ain't nothing to play around with, especially since they snuck in last year.
Very good team.
Eastern Conference.
I think that the drop-off from the Nets, and everybody kind of on the radio and watching on TV, they kind of throw the Nets into that same category as the Magic, the Pistons, even Charlotte. But I think there's a huge drop-off when you're talking about the Nets. There's a big drop-off to the Magic and the Pistons, teams like that. I would much rather play the Magic or the Pistons or whoever in that first-round matchup than the Nets.
They play like a straight-up squad. They work together. That offense is in perfect cohesion. And when D'Angelo Russell is on, he is on. Yeah. I can't name anybody that can stop him when D'Angelo is on.
100%. Tanner, you got something to say?
Well, going into the coaching and Brett Brown, comparing it to last year, where are we setting this bar for if he's staying with us or not? For gonna go part ways from Brett Brown, because if we finish at the same point as last year, after getting Tobias and Butler, like something's got to be done.
Listen, if we don't get out of the first round, he's going 110%. We're not going to have a disagreement on that.
Now that I can
but I think
get behind.
I agree with Tanner. I think even if he wins the first round and gets to the second round and we lose, even if it's a hard fought loss to the Raptors,
It's the same.
I just feel like with the talent we have on this team this year, and another question mark that we haven't brought up in a while, we're focusing on the season this year, and no one's everybody's getting ready for the playoffs. We haven't focused on end of the season. We're talking about guys like Butler and Harris. If we don't do well in this playoffs, I think, especially Butler, I think Butler's just he's gonna leave.
And again, back to Brett Brown, him and Butler, when Butler was new to the team, they had disagreements, and Butler was in his office talking about it. And will that be the reason Butler doesn't stay? And then we'll have to get rid of Brown anyway, and then we'll not have Butler or Brown.
My whole Tanner, to your point, Brett Brown has been here since the process days.
Yeah,
you hate those.
Oh my goodness! Don't even bring. Oh,
You don't trust the process?
no, I don't trust the doggone process.
Well, it's the moment now, so.
Anyway, so I want to see Brett Brown at least work at least one full year with this full squad. I want to see what he can do with the current starting lineup and with a bench. Right now, we have the starting lineup, but we don't have a bench.
Right.
I at least want to see him, at the minimum, have a full successful squad. Then I will judge him according to.
Mm-hmm.
I can't judge him right now because this team is still coming together. Like you said, they only played together, 20 games?
20 to 25 games.
That's not a lot of time to really build a cohesive chemistry.
Here's a little bit of Brett Brown from last night.
When you can have a team that can find 50 wins is unique and difficult. And I give the group credit. We've gone through a few iterations of what the team looks like. We all kind of understand that the 50-win sort of milestone goes away quickly and the playoffs begin. And, that's what people sort of, and fair enough, remember the most. But as it sits, to get back-to-back 50-win seasons is it a great accomplishment for the players in that locker room.
Can I bring something up?
Yeah, go ahead.
Last year we were 52-30.
That's correct.
This year, if we win tonight, we'll be 51-31.
Wow. And that's something I didn't even think about. Because obviously we're all going to say like last year's team wasn't anywhere as good as this year's team, right?
But record shows.
Well, the record shows that.
That's a fair point to bring up. That's not something that you need to necessarily overlook.
I turned on the game last night, and there was like 3 guys on the floor that I've never seen in a Sixers uniform before. That really shows you, like, man, is our bench this bad, or are those guys just in there because we were getting blown out by 20? Or is there a couple guys out there we're going to have to lean on that maybe should be in a rotation at all?
We have to go through the playoffs with a young bench. Last year we had Marco Bellinelli.
And Ilyasova.
Bellinelli was solid.
Those guys were very, very solid players. And underrated, I think. We brought them at the trade deadline this year.
Their perimeter shooting was...
Yeah, it was great. And it helped Ben Simmons out a lot, too.
I just really hope Brett Brown can figure it out for the playoff time. And sadly enough, these starters might have to play 35, 40-plus minutes.
Yeah.
All of them.
I mean, who are you bringing in off the bench? Who are your bench guys? McConnell's one.
Exactly.
I mean, who else are you talking here off the bench? James Ennis, if he can get healthy. I know he had a quad injury.
Jonah Bolden.
And
his Korkmaz out for...
Chris is shouting out Jonah Bolden over there.
How long's Korkmaz out for?
Korkmaz,
I don't care.
Even if he's healthy,
no, he's not.
He's not going to be in the rotation.
Jonah Bolden.
You know who I think is going to help us out though?
Cup of tea.
Greg Monroe. No one's brought up Greg Monroe yet. I think Greg Monroe could be he's a big piece in the playoffs.
He is.
I think he can play the power forward position. He's a veteran guy. He has playoff experience. Been there before, and he's played in this division. He's played for the Celtics. He's played for the Raptors. I think he's going to be a guy that can help us come off the bench. But our guards off the bench are what concern me. Is Ben Simmons, another question I want to bring up to you guys, is Ben Simmons' free throw shooting going to come back to haunt him again for the second year in a row in the playoffs?
Yes.
We saw him in that Celtics series. McConnell had to step in and play more minutes than Ben Simmons did. Game 2 last year against the Celtics in that second round, Ben Simmons scores 1 point.
Yes, it's going to come back to haunt him. Yes, that's the reason why Ben Simmons needs to work on that jump shot and that free throw line shot. Yes, it's going to come back to haunt him because guess what? I can hack you the entire time.
Yeah. That's what they did, especially towards the end of those games when it's getting close, and we just couldn't figure out a way to put the Celtics to bed, So
I remember watching a game. I remember being in a restaurant. I don't remember the exact restaurant to be exact.
Did you get ribs?
We're not going to start this conversation.
Not going to start that conversation.
We're not going to start
go there,
this.
please.
Let's
Don't go there.
not. I'm sick of this. Let's not.
Continue, Dave.
So anyway, I'm watching the game and I'm looking at them. I forget what team we were playing. I think it might have been the Detroit Pistons. But they started hacking Ben Simmons because they were behind, and they know Ben Simmons was a poor free throw shooter.
Yes.
Even when they took the ball out of his hands, it got so bad that Brett Brown had to take him out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, as much of a talent as Ben Simmons is, speed, size, power, can get to the paint, can't shoot a free throw shot, can't make a jump shot. Yes, it's going to come back to haunt us.
Right.
Because now you're taking a talent off the court.
Yes.
And now
a
you're
6'10" point guard.
Yes, you're taking a 6'10" point guard off the court, which now you have to put in
Everybody's talking patience with Ben Simmons shooting. And at this point,
I'm running out of patience.
At first, I was like, you know what? He better get a 3-point shot tomorrow. Now, I don't. If he's not going to shoot a jump shot, fine. But you got to at least develop the free throw because you're going to be on the line. How much he attacks the basket and gets to the free throw line, and they're going to hack him on purpose. He's going to be there.
I like the development of Giannis Antetokounmpo. I love his development. Every year he learns something new and brings
100%.
brings it to the game. This year
his averages went up 12 points to 15. Now he's averaging over 20 a game.
They're leaving him open from 3, and he's making them pay for it.
Yeah, I haven't seen any progress from Ben Simmons. I haven't seen a single bit of progress, and we're talking from last season. He had the whole summer, every day in practice this season. If I'm him, I'm staying on that free throw line 500 times. I'm shooting. All you got to do is work on it. It doesn't have to be pretty. Just get it in the basket, man. I'm telling you, he's going to be on the free throw line a lot in the playoffs. He's going to need to hit him.
Change games too.
Talent will only take you so far.
Yeah,
you're going to need to work on your game.
There's better. Him not shooting a jump shot. We have shooters on the floor. We have 4 guys that can shoot on the floor. All right. I know everybody's going to be frustrated that this man can't shoot. And I think at this point, from 2-3 years, I know he had the broken foot and all, but that's just something we might have to live with as fans. But he needs to shoot free throws. He needs to shoot they're free points. That's in playoff games. You're talking even in watching college games. How important are free throws?
Yes.
Tanner, you know how important
they
they
are.
are.
That Final Four game with Kyle Guy, he hit those 3.
They're just so important. And you're watching the games and you're watching there in the second quarter and we missed 2.
Yeah.
And you don't realize it, but at the end of the game, it's 79 to 77. And we're losing. It could be tied. Those things are so important. It's always been something that bothers me. I just think the bench is going to hurt us. What do you guys think? How far are we going into the playoffs?
Second round.
You think we're out in the second round losing to who, Toronto?
I say Toronto or somehow or some way the Celtics.
Yeah. What do you guys think, Tanner? As of right now, what are you looking?
I agree.
You think end of the second round? You think we get out of the first round and then lose in the second?
Yeah. I hope we don't, but
Yeah,
I
we
just
can
don't
hope.
see us passing that second
I just
round.
think there's teams better than us. And the Celtics are getting healthy, right? Gordon Hayward is back. Jaylen Brown's back. They got guys that we don't have. There's like the Bucks.
They have a bench.
Even the Bucks. They got all those teams have a bench. We don't. Chris, what about you?
Oh, me? Well, it depends on the first round matchup.
Say we get the Nets in the first round. What are you thinking?
Nets. I want to say Sixers will win in 6.
Okay.
Second round Raptors in 5.
Okay.
Raptors
so you're
beat Sixers in 5.
Raptors beat the
now
Sixers. We've played the Raptors
now-
4 times this year. We haven't won.
Now
That's a good point.
Hey, you never know. But and T, I'm looking at you for this.
Oh boy.
If we get the Magic, Michael Carter Williams is going to sweep the Sixers.
Why do you like? See, you like saying extreme
I
stuff.
like saying extreme stuff.
Because you know
Fultz
how
watches on the
upset I'm
bench.
going to get.
Markelle Fultz. Oh yeah, right.
While he wears his suit and watches.
Suddenly his shoulder will be fine.
Oh my goodness.
Out of nowhere.
that's
out of the
Out of
books.
nowhere.
Just
Out of nowhere. Him and Michael Carter Williams are just going to clown the Sixers.
Wouldn't that be something?
I don't see that.
yeah.
I don't see that happening.
No.
The Magic, don't
I was-
get me wrong, they impressed me this year.
I was hoping for a bit more of a reaction from you guys. Oh, well.
More of a
Maybe
that's
a little
ridiculous
more, I'm a
reaction.
little more confident that we now have shown that the Sixers can beat the Celtics, but just not too much.
No.
No, I really, and it sucks because we've been hyping the Sixers all season long. It's been such a fun season, especially the last 2.
No.
Back to back.
In all seriousness, I don't see him getting past the second round. I really don't.
What about the Raptors scares you besides Kawhi Leonard? Is it their bench? Is it their depth or coaching? What do you think we're going to run into problems with
Coaching. We're going to get out-coached, no doubt.
by the Raptors
Sadly.
coach?
No doubt.
Yeah.
I hate to say that. Like, I've tried to.
Nick Nurse is the coach for the Toronto Raptors.
I have tried my hardest to defend Brett Brown, and I'm still trying to defend him to this day. But as games go on, as days go by, I'm finding less and less reasons to defend him.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting hard at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think the rest. At least I think he's making the right decision with resting these guys at the end of the year. I mean, Embiid doesn't need any more wear and tear on his knee. It's been bothering him all season. I think Butler's. He's not saying anything, but he's banged up. I mean, you've seen the last couple games he's fallen to the floor. His back's bothering him. He's got a bad knee or bad ankle. I don't know. I just really hope for us that we get somewhere this year, so the guys are going to want to stay. Because if we lose Butler and Harris, we're in trouble. Because that means we take 2 stars off our starting 5. I know it's going to open up some cap space for us, but our bench is still going to be weak.
I don't know. There was all this hype with this new starting 5 that we have, and I mean, I'm not going to say I'm some knowledgeable person when it comes to basketball.
All right.
But they just don't look cohesive, at least from what I've seen.
It's only been 25 games.
Yeah. You know who we're missing, though, in my opinion? A lot. Who do you think that I'm thinking about?
I want to.
Who am I thinking about? You know who I'm thinking.
Jaleel Okafor.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Landry Shamet.
Landry Shamet. Yeah. We're missing Landry Shamet. I'll tell you why. His 3-point shooting for us.
Are you?
I am.
Are you?
I am.
Put
him on our team right now. He's easily our best bench player in my opinion.
He can kick rocks. We got Mike Scott.
Mike Scott.
Wait, I forgot. Mike Scott's dead to me.
Mike Scott. Listen, your bench primarily is built through the draft. Now, the Celtics got a little lucky. They drafted Marcus Smart 6th overall a couple years ago, and now he's one of their key bench players. You get lucky with that sometimes, depending on the free agents come in. But your bench is through the draft. And that just goes to show. I know we used Shaman as a trade piece, but looking back on the last couple of years with our drafts, especially finding diamonds in the rough in the second round, there's always a couple guys in the second round where you're like, they could be something good for us.
Someone that I'm really interested in second round is Ty Jerome.
Ty Jerome from Virginia.
Yeah.
Coming off a national title. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind seeing Ty Jerome. Guys like that, and again, these guys from Virginia, they're all junior. These guys are veteran players, and a lot of people don't like drafting guys like that because they have no high ceiling.
I never understood that.
These guys are professionals, though. Right. These guys look really, really good. They can shoot. They can pass. They're big guards, 6'5", 6'6".
You're getting a more mature player mentally and physically.
And you can never – the shooters, too. Kyle Guy is a dead-eye three-point shooter. I mean, yeah, he's not really big in size. He's 6'3", but he's not, like, big in size. But he can shoot the three.
But back to what you were saying, some guys get to the NBA and they just don't play the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
You just got to get lucky.
Yeah,
building that late first round picks. Furkan Korkmaz was what waste of a draft pick that was, in my opinion. Yeah. I've never been a Korkmaz guy, and the only time I remember Korkmaz being ever good is when he dropped like 40 points in the summer league.
He had that rookie record.
It was ridiculous. Something in the summer league where he dropped like 40. Other than that, I haven't noticed him do a single thing to help our team out.
Hey guys, just to tickle the fancy, not to change the subject or anything, but just to tickle the fancy.
Ooh.
The NFL, came out with their preseason schedules.
Did they?
And the Eagles are playing all AFC teams, and guess who
do we see week 2?
It's just
wait.
One's a goat and one's name's Tom Brady.
Who is it today? Nick Foles? Is that who it is?
Nick Foles and the Jacksonville Jaguars. We play Nick Foles in week 2 of the preseason.
Wait a second.
And I still stand by it.
I think I missed that. Is that in Jacksonville?
That is in Jacksonville.
Oh,
it is in Jacksonville.
We're in his house. Okay.
So we'll see about a quarter of.
I ain't scared of Nick Foles.
Wentz and Foles.
That's if Wentz is healthy.
I'll tell you what, the people on television will be talking that game up a lot because those football guys, once football starts coming around, they're going to be having a whole week of that.
You got that right. We're already talking it up.
Exactly.
Oh, man, that's just
going to be something weird. What I'm even thinking about further ahead than that, though, because we saw Jacksonville go to the AFC Championship game a couple years ago. If they can get that offense figured out, they could go to the championship. If we get our offense, primarily our secondary, figured out, we could meet them. How crazy would that be? And Nick Foles, Carson Wentz, Super Bowl.
I said that, and and T looked at me like I had 4 heads.
You do,
and I don't know why'd you look at me like that. They have the best quarterback in the league.
I'll tell you 100%, Chris. I looked at you crazy too. I didn't figure it out. At this point, the Patriots, I'm never bet against them, though how great they've been. And if Tom Brady's still under center,
they don't have Gronk.
If Tom Brady's still under center, I'm betting against them.
Safarian Jenkins, the Patriots, the tight end.
He's not Gronk.
The AFC, I think there are going to be a couple teams that will surprise you next year. I mean, if the Browns have a great season, it wouldn't surprise us how much talent they have now on the team.
But that's not a surprise.
I think there's going to be teams in there that might try sneaking in there with the Patriots. The Colts, I think, are one of those teams that could be pretty good. But at Jacksonville, and I really hope that happens, man. If I see Carson Wentz, Nick Foles in the Super Bowl, that would be just absolutely crazy to watch.
I'll be terrified.
You're
I'll
gonna
be
be
terrified.
I'm not
My
scared of Nick
goodness.
Foles.
I won't be terrified if Carson Wentz gets back to a couple of years ago the way he was playing a couple of years
Now
before
that's
his age.
scary.
That's a scary Carson Wentz.
Yeah, but you want to know what else is scary? If Carson Wentz gets injured and we have to rely on either Nate Sudfeld or what's his face from the
Luis
AAF.
Perez from the AAF, who's only been
Man, talk about a step. Sorry,
he's only played one preseason game, and that was for the Rams.
Wow,
Luis
that's
Perez.
all right. That's the guy where I'm.
Listen. Now, when I was saying, when we had this show a couple weeks ago, and we're talking a couple months ago at this point, I said on this show that I wouldn't mind keeping Nick Foles because of Wentz's injury history. That now that we got rid of the Nick, we all have to be 110% behind Carson. And I just want him to get healthy. I just hope he's healthy, man, because how great he was before his injury. He was going to be the MVP.
Yes, he was.
And the only thing that just concerns me, and I've said it since day one, is the major injuries. The major injuries. We're talking major knee surgery, broken back.
And I agree with you. I do agree. The major injuries are a scary thing, but listen, you got to put 110% faith in Carson Wentz. You don't have no choice at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't want to rely on Nate Sudfeld.
I want to ask you this question, Tate. When you're coming in, OTAs and training camp come up, how are you working Carson? How are you working him back in? Are you saying, all right, we need you to get in there 110%, get all the reps in, almost have a full off season under your belt, or do you want to say, all right, let's be careful with you, let's ease you into the preseason, let's ease you in, and hopefully by week 1 you're ready to go?
No, I'm not handling you with kid gloves.
So you want him to go? You want to have that solid, nice off season. You want to get him in shape, getting ready for that week 1.
Yeah, I want him. I'm going hard with him. Reason being, you did not look like the Carson Wentz who was MVP caliber in 2016. That wasn't you.
Yeah.
What I seen last year. I need to make sure that you're ready by week 1.
Yeah. Well, Tanner, what do you think? Are you gonna baby? Not I'm not want to use the word baby Carson, but do you think you want to ease him back in the OTAs?
I'm right in there.
You want him to get in the full same thing you, Chris?
No, dude. When you screw up your back, the back is different. The back is not your leg.
Now you got to remember, he missed the end of last season. He hasn't played football.
I know, still, but dude, the back is different. I wouldn't wish it on anybody.
But he's been off his back for 2-3 months.
The thing with me is he wasn't looking the same when him running.
The back is different.
You're always on your back.
Look, the thing that made Carson Wentz, besides his arm, so dynamic is his legs, and he didn't look like he was running at the same pace.
I'm babying that guy. All right, if I want a franchise quarterback to last 10 more years, and that's why I expect out of Carson.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing him right back in there. I know short term we want to, long term I don't.
For me personally, if I'll speak for me, I think he needs that full off season, that full workload. Get him in there, get his reps in. I know you don't want to baby him. But if we want to go into another Super Bowl, I think we got to just let him go, man.
Correct.
Just get him 100%, get all the full reps in, get him 100%, all of his strength, get him 100% healthy.
I'm not babying a grown man.
He needs to be ready by week 1. We threw him in there early in week 3 last year. He needs to be ready 100% by week 1.
Look, T, and you guys are all going to hate this.
Boy.
If the puzzle pieces match up, I almost see this like a RG3 happening again to us.
No.
You just can.
No.
Dude.
No.
Wentz is a different player.
I know he's a different player.
I'm going to tell you why.
He's built differently.
I'm going to tell you why. RG3 was a freak accident, first and foremost.
Yeah, it was.
Was Wentz not?
It's not.
You're comparing Wentz to
Right.
RG3.
The body structure is different.
Okay, yeah.
Their play styles are different.
RG3 used his legs. Carson can do both. I know. RG3 early, especially at Baylor, had that huge arm.
Right.
But,
and the Washington Redskins knew about his knee injury.
And they just played him through.
Still put him in that game.
Even in that playoff game, he was on one leg. And you saw his knee give out when he went for that fumble. It was ridiculous. Listen, one more thing before we go. Tanner's met somebody famous last night.
Oh, yeah.
How about we take guesses real quick on who it was? Anybody want to guess? Anyone want to guess?
Skip Bayless.
I wish.
Say, what do you think? What do you think, Tate? What do you
Bayless
think?
can kick rocks.
What do you think, Tate? Anybody? Let's get. Now you got to remember, he's at the Phillies game last night. People were out. You never know if anybody can be there. I'll give you a hint. It wasn't an actor. It was not an actor.
Darn it.
Does it have to do with sports?
It does.
You know what? I think I might know. Alshon Jeffrey.
No.
Close.
Dang.
No.
So it's an Eagles player.
No, it's
Nope.
not an Eagles player.
Okay. Well, when you say close,
Close as isn't a Philly sports guy. Yes.
TV personality or athlete?
This man
Athlete.
enjoys the ice.
Oh, does he?
No. What
Does
type
he?
of ice?
Just
cream?
like Chris.
Dude, Carter Hart was at the game last night. Did you meet Carter
That
Hart?
is who I saw.
Carter Hart.
Hart.
I'm over here shopping for hats, and I turn around, and there's this lady talking about Carter Hart, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, man.
Flyers talk.
That is blasphemous.
And she's over, and then she says, "Hey, can I get a picture with you?" And I turn around, Carter Hart's right there.
Dude.
Really nice guy. Really nice guy. We were talking. He let me take a picture.
What?
It's really nice.
Did you go up to him and you say, "Hey, big fan,
Sorry
Carter"?
to bother you, but can I get a picture? He
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, fine." And then I look behind me, and there's a line.
Yes.
There's a line of people.
A line of people for
But
him.
he was smiling through it all.
Now, was he like? Was it a whole setup? People were in the store. He was just shopping.
The first person that got a picture with him was right in front of me, and he was just shopping for. He had a hat in his hand when he took a picture with the lady. He wasn't. I mean,
Yeah, he was just shopping.
obviously, someone's gonna stop you and notice you. But,
Yeah.
And this kid's only 20 years
Dude,
old.
like
He's a
hardcore
year older
Flyers
than-
fans like myself, like think he's Jesus. Like I'm not even kidding. Dude, so many people would like bow down and kiss that dude's feet. I might.
Why? Because how great he's been,
Dude.
and how highly
You
talented
want
he
to know
was.
how many goaltenders the Flyers have gone through in the past 10 years before Carter Hart came up?
Probably like 6 or 7.
19.
19.
The Flyers went
Sheesh.
through 19 goalies. Sorry. Do we have? Yeah, we do.
Are we out of here?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we
That's
got
the end of the show. This hour went by fast.
we got
This hour did go
skedaddly do.
fast. That was a good show today, though.
Yeah, we gotta get the crap out of
Oh,
here.
yeah.
All right,
guys.
people.
Tune in next
Just-
week.
Next week, this is the place to be.
Oh yeah,
This
is
is a
some
good show
sweet
today.
music.
Yeah, this is a heck of a way to go out.
This is the way to go out right here.
All right, well,
just-
we know you're not steering the ship next week.
Gonna work on my soundboard technology.
All right, guys.
All right,
Tune in
people.
next Wednesday, 4 to 5, Backstreet Sports.
Good shit today, people. That was good.
We'll work on your board skills. That was good. You did good.
Thanks for not saying a naughty